There are 5,700 or more homes for sale in Orange County as of this morning. 2 of them are on Zillow Preview. Not 200, just 2. And I'm going to show you the actual numbers on what it's doing for the sellers who are in it, because the gap is bigger than what even I expected when we first started. If you're going to sell a house here in the next year or two, the next 10 minutes are worth your time. And the reason is what happens to your price in the first 14 days and how few sellers plan for it. I'm Chase with the Whitney Team and First Team Real Estate. I grew up right here in Cypress. I sell here, raising my family here, and been doing this with my family since 1996. So let me start with the proof, because I'd rather show you than talk at you and just give you a bunch of numbers. This is the Zillow Analytics dashboard on our recent listings. Views, saves, shares, tour requests, day by day. And this right here is a comparison home in the same city, similar price point that went live the same week through traditional launch strategy. And what you'll notice is on our listing, 3 to 5 times the views, saves, and shares, the numbers that really matter. Same market, same buyers, same week. The only thing that changed was the order and how we launched the listing. And I want to be careful here. Those are our recent launches. Now, I can't promise you the same thing. Different houses, different street, different price band, might be a different result. But the pattern has been consistent enough across about 10 listings now that I've stopped treating it as luck. Now, here's what I want you to walk away with by the end of the video. You're going to know exactly what should happen on every day between the moment you sign a listing agreement and the moment your home goes live on the market. You'll know the 4 numbers to tell whether your price is right, but before it costs you anything, you're going to know the specific questions to ask any agent you interview, including us. And you'll know the situations where this whole approach might be the wrong call and you should just skip it entirely. And the last one matters. I'd rather you hear it from me than find out in week 3 when it's almost too late. So, into the plan. 3 phases, each one with a certain job. Phase 1 is Zillow Preview. Now, quick bit of context first. According to NAR's most recent buyer and seller profile, 52% of buyers found the home they purchased online, and 70%, now even higher, used a phone or tablet on their search. Your listing now is a digital product before anyone walks through the front door. Now, Zillow Preview launched in March. What it does is put your home publicly on Zillow and Trulia before it ever enters the MLS. Real buyers with real search results, getting a real response on your home, and your days on market are still sitting at 0 the entire time. The other benefit right now is Zillow is actively boosting preview listings in search right now. So you're getting prioritized placement instead of fighting for it later. Now, later on this summer, Zillow Preview is going to start syndicating out to Realtor.com as well. So the pre-market window is widening and the buyer pool now is expanding in this tight time frame. So why is the count right now 2 houses and not 200? Well, access is set at the brokerage level. An individual agent can't opt in on their own no matter how badly they want it. First Team is one of a very small number of brokerages across all of Southern California that has it, and we got it the day they turned it on. Now here's what I'm doing for your home while it's sitting in preview. I'm watching 4 distinct numbers. Views, the least useful of the 4, and the one that every agent is going to quote at you. The one we like is saves. A save means a buyer is tracking your house. If 100 people look at it and only 2 save it, that's your price or photos talking to you, and we can still do something about it before it starts going on the market. Now, the third is shares, usually one spouse saying it to another, and that's a household having a conversation about your home at the kitchen table. And the 4th one is tour requests, the strongest signal that exists before anyone does the actual walk through the door. A stack of those means you go active with a line already formed out the front door. You get those numbers from me in writing on a set schedule instead of a phone call that says things are going to go great, trust me. And while you're in preview, you and I have the flexibility around how pricing and data is displayed on Zillow, which means you're gathering real buyer demand data before your price is locked into a permanent public record on the MLS. Now, phase 2 is coming soon. In CRMLS, which is the MLS that covers Orange County, coming soon is a real status with real rules. You get up to 21 days in this window to do whatever you want. Stage, shoot interior photos, prep the property, and your days on market in the MLS stay at 0 because you aren't active yet. Now, however, no showings are allowed during that window, not by a buyer's agent, not by me, or the listing agent either. You'll sign a CRMLS Coming Soon form before we can use that status, and once there's public marketing anywhere, which includes Zillow Preview, the listing has to be entered in the MLS within 1 business day. That's Rule 7.9 of the Clear Cooperation Policy. Now, pay attention to that last part because it's how the phase 1 and phase 2 actually fit together. Public marketing on Zillow starts the clock for the MLS entry. So your home is visible to buyers while the file goes in coming soon and your days on market still stay at 0. What that runway buys you is time you'd have spent anyway, except now it's free. Paint, landscaping, prep time, the countertop guy who might be sick. A published showing date buyers can now plan around in a first open house with a week of anticipation instead of a sign that went up yesterday and you hope for the best. There is, however, one change worth knowing on Coming Soon. In March, CRMLS started circulating Coming Soon listings through IDX feeds. Think all the portals, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com, etc. So those show up on public sites all across the board. At the end of June, they also added an option to withhold them from those IDX syndication feeds. So that's now a decision rather than a default, and the right answer depends on your house and the strategy that you want to implement. Now, the third phase is active on the MLS, usually with a Zillow Showcase upgrade on top of it. By the time we flip the switch to live, your price has been pressure tested against real buyer response, your photos are done, saved search buyers already know your address and have had your showing date on the calendar for a couple days. The goal on day one is a full showing calendar leading up into that first weekend and more than one party writing at the same time. That's competition and leverage, and getting those things together is the only thing that reliably protects your number and boosts your sales price. Compare that to going straight to active on a Thursday or Friday and using your first weekend to figure out whether you had the price right. When you make that correction, it goes public. Days on market and price drop history follow a house everywhere it goes forever. Now, here are some questions I get in the order I get them. Isn't this just delaying my sale? No. And this is the piece that most people are going to miss. Your days on market are at zero the entire time. Up to those 21 days in Coming Soon is prep you were going to do anyway, except now you're doing it while buyers are already looking at your home instead of afterwards. I don't want a price out there before I'm ready, and that's a fair assumption. That's exactly why the preview window has flexibility around how pricing and details are displayed. You're testing demand before the number goes into the permanent record. Oh, my last agent said, just list it, let the market tell me. And they're right, the market is going to tell you, but my issue with that is what it tells you and the passive approach that those agents are taking. A price reduction is a public event. Every buyer sees it, every agent sees it, and it doesn't reset. Now, can I accept an offer during the Coming Soon window? The answer is yes. Buyers can present and sellers can accept offers during Coming Soon. It's rare, but it does happen sometimes. Well, buyers think something is wrong if my house sits in Coming Soon. In my experience, no. It reads as a house that's coming. Most of what I hear from buyers about Coming Soon listings is impatience, and buyer urgency is exactly what you want pointed right at your front door. Now, what if the preview numbers come back bad? Then we just saved you a price reduction, and that is the entire value of that window beyond the added exposure. Thin saves mean we can adjust the price or reshoot some photos before day one, and no one outside this conversation ever knows it happened. Now, does my house even need this? And the truth is, sometimes no. If you're relocating against a hard report date, if it's a probate or a trust sale where the court calendar is driving everything, or the home is vacant and already ready and you're ready to rock and roll tomorrow, adding 3 weeks of runway can cost you more than it returns. A vacant house is bleeding carrying cost every day, and a Coming Soon window where no one can walk through it might not be the right answer for your situation. So here's what I would do next. Number one, ask any agent you're interviewing to walk you through the days between signing and going live. A prepared agent has a written schedule with a photo day, prep deadlines, preview start, and a showing date already on it. And a vague answer to that question is the answer you might need to know. Number two, ask whether the brokerage is involved in Zillow Preview. It's a broker level program, so it's a hard yes or a hard no. And even if they have it, ask if they're going to use it. What I'm finding right now is so many agents that have access to it simply aren't leveraging it for their sellers. Now, number three, ask them to show you the view and save numbers from their last 3 launches and hold me to that same standard. If you sit down with us and I can't pull those numbers and reports out in front of you, you might want to show me the door. If you want to see what this would look like for your home specifically, call or text me directly at 714-888-6692. We'll build the launch calendar together with you on paper with dates in mind. Photo day, prep list of items, preview window, showing date, first open house weekend. There's nothing attached to that. Plenty of folks we sit down with are a year or 2 away from selling, and honestly, that's the right time to be having the first conversation to get ready ahead of time. The full written version of all this is on our blog at 4realestatehelp.com/blog. Like I said, we live here, we work here, we raise our families here, and we're not going anywhere. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's 5-Minute Real Estate Fix. A bit longer this time. I'm Chase with the Whitney Team, and I'll see you around town or on the next episode.